this video, we headed to Hinton, West Virginia for the 24 Hours of Appalachia to run the Minor and Logger Delight 3. On Friday evening, we went into town for tech inspection, registration, and the driver's meeting. After the driver's meeting, we hung around town and grabbed a bite to eat. If you're ever in Hinton, you have got to get a pizza from the market. It's one of the best pizzas I've ever had. The next morning, we rode back into town to watch the side-by-sides leave. At this event, side-by-sides left first, followed by moto, then full-size. So me and my buddy Nate decided to run the rally together. Because of this, they let us leave the starting line at the same time instead of one of us taking off and having to pull over and wait for the next one to come up. But it worked out really good. We left the starting line together, and really the only thing I was worried about here was just not getting lost in town. I'd studied the map the night before, knew I needed to go up a block, turn left, go down a block, turn right, and I was just hoping I was right on that because there's so many lines on that little map. It's kind of hard to tell where you need to go. Not even a mile out of town, we was already on our first gravel road. On this rally, you cannot have a moving average speed over 35 mile an hour. When you stretch that out over 500 plus miles, that's pretty dang fast. Plus, you have to remember that this is on public roads, so I tried to slow down and be respectful and somewhat quiet when going by homes and through small towns. this rally had a ton of just long gravel sections like this right here. They were pretty fun and flowy. Some of them were just super loose. I don't know if it was maybe from the side-by-sides coming through there and kind of tearing it up in the turns. But some of this stuff you'd hit was like marbles. So from what I understand here is a side-by-side came through earlier and missed the turn and basically went off the hill. I heard a couple of different things, but I think the guys ended up being okay. You can see one of them sitting on the bank over there, and apparently one of them went off in the ambulance, which we got hung behind for a pretty good while. So the guy that's passing me right here is Mitch Craig. He's actually a local guy to me here in Western Kentucky. He actually took first place in B class. Come on, Nate. Here we go. Oh, fuck. My bad, I thought you had it.
I thought I did too.
I definitely should have been pushing a little harder here, but the scenery was so pretty. I kind of got distracted with that instead of pushing a little harder here on this smoother gravel road. So riding across the top of this mountain, I've never seen this many windmills in one place. It was really neat to see. So this section here went through a state park, and we had pretty strict rules of 25 mile an hour or slower through here. We didn't want to piss anybody off or make a bad name for this rally. So we just kind of kicked back, cruised 20-25 mile an hour. It was a nice breather, and you can see me here trying to put a Zen in with just one hand. So the state park dumped us straight out into this trail here. It was our first taste of mud and what the rest of the day was basically going to look like. The mud just absolutely kicked my butt on this big bike. I love the Tenere. It was nice and comfortable, but in the mud, it was a mega workout. And I'm just not very good at riding in the mud, especially muddy rock, just slick as snot. It was something I should have been more prepared for, but like I say, I'm just not very good at riding on this stuff.
hump there. That did not happen. Tried it again.
So here we are on a nice little stretch of blacktop. I was able to stretch my legs out, kind of cool off, and catch my breath from the muddy section. And it was nice and peaceful until disaster struck. Alright, so after a couple miles on the blacktop, Nate had a rear flat tire. So we borrowed this pig's fence to hold Nate's bike up while we swapped out the tube. Now here we are, right after that, back in the woods. This was a pretty good hill. Things started to get really slick and really rocky. And we actually had some trouble. Ended up having to push my bike up a ledge or two. Nate had some issues, and mainly it was all due to the type of tires he was running. I think they were just way too hard for this slick, rocky conditions.
That is some slick, loose, big shit. Dude, I just don't know. I mean, I don't think it's gonna get better around that turn.
I don't know that it is. Same thing like earlier. Man went off for 3 fucking miles earlier. I mean, it doesn't look that bad. It's just slick as fuck. I mean, there's no...
Right.
Can't hardly walk up the shit.
Alright, we're gonna have to get around at that one. Okay. Hey, can that 4Runner get by me now?
Pushing?
Oh, you need me all the way?
What? We were just coming up to you. Do you need help pushing?
Well, I don't know. I was gonna let y'all go on if y'all want to go on, but
Okay. We could try. Oh no, now we're stuck.
So I wasn't sure what the guy in the 4Runner was asking me. I didn't realize he was wanting to get out and help me push. I was just trying to get out of their way. Me and Nate were smoked. I mean, by the time we got his bike up to mine and then got me the rest of the way up, we were wore out. We were huffing and puffing pretty hard.
I need to
It's
be
not
in
that it was
bullshit
that
right
steep.
there.
It was just rocky and extremely slick. I should have never stopped. I should have kept all the momentum I had. But anyway, here we are finishing out the top of this hill. And things did get a little bit better after this.
Shit.
So at this point, there's probably 4 or 5 bikes hung up on this hill down below us. A Jeep, a 4Runner, and maybe even a side-by-side or something. But there was a pretty good line of traffic of everybody just hung up one right behind the other coming up that hill. We finally did get up the hill and got back on the trail and was rolling pretty good till it just got muddy and super slick again.
Got a little hung up?
Yeah, slid off that rut.
We're gonna let him go on. Slicker and shit. We'll let you go on, dude. don't know. I may have gotten that slick shit. Oh shit. I agree. I agree. You know, see if you can get on around the corner. Oh, easy. Yeah, I don't think we was getting up that.
No, I don't think so. We're doing good to get around the go-around trail.
Yeah, I agree. That's my foot.
So by this point, we are just pretty wore out, tired of the mud, tired of the slick, and we were just trying to get back to Hinton to finish up section 1. At this point, we've already discussed if we're going to even attempt section 2. We were told that section 2, even though it was only 220 or 230 miles, it was rougher, muddier, just more challenging than section 1 was. So we were really second guessing if we were going to keep going after section 1 or not. So we made it back to the blacktop, headed towards Hinton to finish up section 1. Section 1 was 300 miles. It took us 11 and a half hours. We still had plenty of time to do section 2, but for whatever reason we decided we didn't want to. Looking back, I really hate that we did not at least attempt section 2. We could have bailed at any time if we needed to. But next year, I plan on trying to run some of these rallies, and I'm bound and determined I'm going to finish one. This was our first time out. We learned a lot, and we'll come back better prepared next time. But till next time, we'll see y'all.